Hello, my name is Ruben Rubio. Help support my channel by visiting my website RubenRubioTX.com on your phone, tablet, or PC. For Facebook, go to the menu and click on the Facebook logo. On my Facebook page, click like and follow. For Instagram, go to the menu and click on the Instagram logo. On my Instagram profile, click follow. For YouTube, go to the menu and click on the YouTube logo. On my YouTube page, click subscribe and ring the bell for all notifications. For Twitch, go to the menu and click on the Twitch logo. On my Twitch page, click the heart to follow. If you have questions you'd like answered on one of our live streams or YouTube videos, go to the menu and click on Ask a Question. Fill out all the details in the form and click Submit. You can choose to be anonymous or have your first name mentioned on the video. If you'd like to schedule a phone appointment, go to the menu and click Schedule Phone Appointment. Fill out all the details and when the best time to reach you, and we will get back to you at our earliest time available. Hola, mi nombre es Rubén Rubio. Para apoyar mi canal, visite mi sitio de web RubenRubioTX.com en tu teléfono, tableta o computadora. Para Facebook, vaya al menú y haga clic en el logotipo de Facebook. En mi página de Facebook, haga clic en like y siga. Para Instagram, vaya al menú y haga clic en el logo de Instagram. En mi perfil de Instagram, haga clic en seguir. Para YouTube, vaya al menú y haga clic en el logotipo de YouTube. En mi página de YouTube, haga clic en suscríbase y haga sonar la campana para todas las notificaciones. Para Twitch, vaya al menú y haga clic en el logotipo de Twitch. En mi página de Twitch, haga clic en el corazón para seguir. Si tienes preguntas que le gustaría responder en alguno de nuestros live streams o videos de YouTube, vaya al menú y haga clic en Ask a Question, llene todos los detalles del formulario y haga clic en Enviar. Puede elegir ser anónimo o que su primer nombre se mencione en el video. Si desea programar una cita por teléfono, vaya al menú y haga clic en Schedule Phone Appointment. Llene todos los detalles y cuando es el mejor momento para llegar a usted y nos encontraremos en nuestro momento más temprano disponible. Hello.
Are we on?
Hey. Welcome everyone to the Ruben Rubio TX live stream. I'm here with Ruben Rubio TX himself. I'm 8-Bit Rich. And today we're going to be talking about, what are we talking about?
Funeral plans and absolute assignments.
Oh, really? So can you give us a brief overview of what it is that entails?
Okay. What we're going to talk about is an absolute assignment or a regular assignment. And what this is that when you have a life insurance policy and somebody passes away, when you go and do the arrangements at the funeral home, there's a form that you have to fill out as the beneficiary, assigning some of your proceeds, life insurance proceeds, to the funeral home so they can pay off for the funeral. At that moment, of course, you get an authorization, and it has to be notarized so they can present it to the company. What they do is they just email it directly to them, and then they mail it regular mail because it has to be there in the paperwork. Of course, it has to have the seal. Since we are in Texas, it has to be the seal by a Texas notary public. I would like to thank Rudy Garza Funeral Homes because they provided me an assignment form. They told me, Mr. You have been very, very good with us. I send them a lot of business because, of course, well, it's a good place. Of course, I recommend wherever it's close to you. But they have been very well and behaved very well with the families. They are very understanding, and I would like to thank them for providing this form for us. If you have more questions, you know how to do this. You just go ahead and click on that I like this and click on any question that you would like to ask about how the proper procedure is. Let me just start off by telling you that the reason I had to do this was because every now and then I run into people that, their health is not that great or they have problems. Recently, I just sold 2 clients yesterday. Mm-hmm. One is a 36-year-old, 37-year-old, excellent health, great guy. He says, hey, you know what? I just need enough to, pay for funerals and this and that. Lo and behold, I get a call from the company. Hey, Mr. Rubio, we need to talk. I said, this is not going well. And they tell me, yes, Mr. Rubio, your client, I cannot mention his name, has had a little bit of a history with his DUIs. So he's had 3 of them. So now he is no longer considered a viable client for insurance because the man has supposedly problems. You understand, Richard? And
okay.
Problems. Yeah. And of course, this now makes him, red flag, and I can no longer sell him a life insurance. So what is my next step? My next step is that I will go back to the family and I'm going to go back and talk to him. I said, hey, you know what? I am sorry. I'm the bearer of bad news. But the only thing you qualify now for is what is called a prearranged funeral. Now, on these prearranged funerals, you decide, hey, I want this type of package. I want this type of casket. I want these type of, cards and memorabilia and stuff that, you get on a prearranged funeral. But unfortunately, he no longer qualifies for insurance. So now I have to sell him what is called $1 per dollar. So for every dollar that he purchases for this benefit, that's the only thing he qualifies. And it's very sad to say this, but he's still young. And of course, many people think, well, it shouldn't matter. Well, unfortunately, companies don't think that way. The reality of things is that's not the way things work. So now companies have to protect themselves because unfortunately our client has a problem that has been in the past and is currently now where he is. This is a situation that he's in. Then I had a second client. I picked up the information. Very nice lady, nice 68-year-old lady. And I picked up all the information. And as I'm drawing up the application, I asked for the medications and everything. We do a standard phone call interview. And everything was going well till I get the surprise. Oh, man.
What was that?
It shows here on your medical that you are taking such and such a drug. And of course, the drug, I can mention it, it's warfarin. And warfarin is a blood thinning, drug.
Yeah.
What? The company says, well, she no longer qualifies for insurance because this is a blood thinner. And of course, as many of you may or may not know, blood thinners will disqualify you with any company, any type of benefits. I know, I keep hearing it on TV. Hey, try this company and we'll insure you. You got the $10 plan, and this and that. What they're not telling you is that there are certain medications they cannot insure you. And it's like you're buying, again, Richard, $1 dollar plan. Why? Because you no longer qualify because unfortunately your health is very, very substandard. I've had clients tell me, well, I want to change to another company. And I told,
Mhm.
well, okay, go ahead, but I'm going to warn you, they're not going to get you. And lo and behold, about 2 weeks ago, I had this lady call me up. Hey, I'm agent so and so from such and such company. Oh, yes, yes, I know who you are. And he said, well, you know what? Your client has decided that they want to change, and I just got to ask a couple of questions. Yeah, sure, sure. What do you need to know? Well, how much is she insured for, and things like that. And then I tell them, okay, I give her the information that is not a secret because that my clients already disclosed it. But then I tell them, okay, are you going to replace it? Yes. And I said, well, did she tell you that she was rated table 4? No, they didn't mention that. Oh, and by the way, did they mention that she smokes? No, she didn't say that either. And I know this
Mhm.
company, they're going to say, you know what,
Uh-huh.
forget, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I go back to the client and tell, look, I told you in a good fashion, in a good way, keep the benefits that you have because you no longer qualify for anything. The only thing you qualify again is for what? What I was just talking about. That is a prearranged funeral. Now, what is prearranged funeral? This is the type of plan which is an expensive, okay? Understand this. It's an expensive whole life policy, which you can
Mhm.
pay in either a single premium, 3 year, 7 year, or 10-year plan. The longer you pay, the more expensive it gets. So what does that entitle? Okay, well, what are we getting? You're purchasing the goods and services of a funeral home, and that doesn't matter what funeral home you're going with. I here in the Valley have several companies. There's several funeral
Mhm.
homes. Each town, mostly each town has their own funeral home, but you've got to understand, you're purchasing something to pay off final expense. This is completely final expense. So
Yeah.
what happens is that they take a form and they start writing down the goods and services. Oh, we want this casket. We want this type of service. We want a 2-day service, a 1-day service. We want a graveside service. We want
Mhm.
this type of service, different types of services. They want maybe a casket, a real nice casket, or an expensive casket. I tell people, Richard, it doesn't matter
Mhm.
which casket you get in 5 years, it's going to start rotting. Okay?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the one that costs $1,500, $1,700, $2,000 is going to do the same job as the one that's
Mhm.
cost five, six, seven, $8,000. They have those real
Mhm.
nice mahogany caskets, and those
Yeah.
caskets are nice, but oh my God, they're so expensive, and
Yeah.
people do purchase them, and of course I try to guide you the best I can so you won't spend that much. And if you are going to spend that much, I tell you, okay, you don't want to spend that much. If you do a single premium, that means you pay one time. It
Mhm.
We give you a discount. The company gives you a discount, and of course you're paid off. And now all you need to do is just pass away, which is not a great thought.
That's interesting. Well,
So,
yeah. Well, I just want to thank everyone that's joined us today on the Ruben Rubio TX live stream. I want to say hi to Mauricio, Giovanna, Blanca, Violeta. Thank you for joining us today. You are watching Ruben Rubio TX live here on Facebook, on YouTube, and Twitch, where you can also follow us. You can like us and subscribe to us, even on Instagram. And you can also find our website at RubenRubioTX.com. If you have any questions that you'd like answered by Ruben Rubio, or if you'd like to set up an appointment, you can also fill out a form and make that happen. And today we're talking about what happens when you need to prepare for a final expense when the traditional forms of insurance aren't available in some circumstances. And so you were talking about a pre-arranged funeral, correct?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. We were talking about that. Now, I have kind of like a funny story about that.
Hmm.
I have a client. He has money. Okay, so that's great. He had actually at that time he had two adult daycare centers, and
Okay.
I won't mention his full name. I'll just call him Juan because that's his name. I one day got a call from Juan. Hey, Rubio, I want to buy a prearranged funeral. Sure, sure, Juan. I want you to come by the house and show me what you have. And of course, I have my little book. And in that book, I have the different caskets. It's kind of scary.
Hmm.
Some people don't like me to carry it around, but I have one.
Yeah.
And they say, hey, Mr. Rubio, you know what? I like this one. This one. I like this casket. And I said, Mr. Juan, that's an $8,000 casket. It's not a problem. Oh, okay. And how do you want to pay for this? You already have life insurance with me. Oh, no, 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 don't worry. I set money aside to pay for the whole thing. Oh, if you're going to pay for the whole thing, that's not a problem. I'm going to go ahead and give you a discount, so it'll be actually cheaper. Said, but I have only one request, one very special request. What do you think that was, Richard?
Uh, I don't know. Buried with his money? I'm not
I
sure.
think his wife would like that. No, no. He says,
Mhm.
Mr. Rubio, I just want you to take pictures. I said, Juan, what are we talking about? Yes, I want you to take me some pictures. Said, is this what I'm thinking? Yes. I said, I want to see what I look like, because I'm not gonna see myself when I'm in the casket. I said,
Oh,
let
okay.
me let me let me call the funeral home director, and of course I pick up my phone
Yeah.
and call the director, and it's in Westlaco, okay, and I
Uh-huh.
call him and I say, George, hi, this is Rubio. Hey, Mr. Rubio, how you been? I've been doing great, and unfortunately I have a special request. Oh, go ahead. Well, I have a client who's interested in getting a plan, and he's actually going to pay for the whole thing. Oh, well, that sounds fantastic. Of course, you know that the funeral home benefits in the sense that that business isn't going anywhere else. And I
Yeah.
said, okay, but he has a special request. And what's that request? He wants pictures. Oh, what kind of pictures? Well, he wants you to take him a picture in the casket. And he says, oh, Mr. Rubio, you wouldn't believe this, but that's more common now than ever. Oh
Really?
my God. So I
Wow.
told him, okay, that's not a problem. So I'm there with the client. I said, get in the car. Please bring your checkbook. Because while you write this check out in my car, you go inside the funeral home. They're going to put you in this thing. They've got everything set up. He's got the lights. He's got the casket open. He just does a
Uh-huh.
little water. The guy gets in. He says, come well dressed, the way you want to be dressed. And we'll start taking pictures away. I
Yeah.
don't know if he did any of those Facebook pictures. He sent them anywhere, but I don't want to know anything about that. You know how that
I can
goes, right?
imagine him putting a poll like, do I look good in this light or in that light? Or yeah, that'd be
Just
that'd be kind of creepy.
bring out my features. Do I look good?
Do I look thin?
Do I do I look thin? You know how sometimes you remember when you were younger and then we were like in college and mom would say, "You sound thin." I don't
Yeah.
think that applies here. Okay,
No.
that definitely does not apply there. But you
No.
know what? Everybody has their thing. You understand? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's part of life. Eso es parte de la vida. Cada quien tiene su propio deseo y su propio querer. And
Hmm.
so, lo and behold, this is where we're at right now. So, what I
Yeah.
usually do is when I go to a home and they say, you know what, Mr. Rubio, we are more interested in purchasing a prearranged funeral. I take out my
Hmm.
book, I show them the different pictures of, the merchandise that is offered. I show them how we're going to do it. We start filling it
Okay.
out. And then by the time I'm finished, I already calculated for them the plan, how
Hmm.
much it's going to cost. I try not to tell them, look, 7,500, 7,000, that's more or less, that's the most economical. Now, if you want something a little bit better, you're going to need a better casket, this and that. And so I've had clients that, have paid over $10,000 for their prearranged funeral. And of course, they
Uh-huh.
can afford it because they already have decided this is the route they want to go. And I told them, you know what? The best thing about this is that in the event something happens, the premium was not going to go up. If you die before that, after the 2-year contestability, if you die after that, the company's just going to pay the whole thing, unless it's like I said, if it's $1 per dollar, only what you invested is what you're covered, and you have to cough up the rest of the money. So most of my clients, they have decided, well, you have a single premium, you have a 1-year plan, a 3-year plan, a 7-year plan, a 10-year plan. And of course, I tell them, the longer you pay for this, the more expensive it gets. But all of this is for the client's benefit and their wishes. This is what this is their resting place. I'm not going to sell a prearranged funeral to a 25-year-old or a 30-year-old. I'm going to tell them, look, for that kind of money that you're going to cough up, let's get a regular life insurance policy. Does anybody have any questions or want to know something specifically?
So, can you explain, because you're saying dollar for dollar, and is that different from paying like the 10-year version?
Yes, it is, Richard. The reason it's called a dollar per dollar is because you don't qualify for regular insurance. So the money that you pay into it, that is the only amount that will be covered. Let's say you're halfway through it. Let's say you've got paid about $3,000. Hey, guess what? Your family needs to pay the rest of the money because you haven't paid into it enough. It's like an annuity that you're putting a savings, you're putting money into it, but until you fully pay it off, they will give you the okay, hey, it's paid off. So it's kind of hard when you're already at that stage in your life, that you have taken care of yourself, or things have happened, or like I said, unfortunately, in the case of my friend here, he wasn't wise, and he doesn't qualify for regular insurance. No longer. There's nothing I can do. I can't, I can help him as much as I can, but he himself has disqualified himself from a standard policy.
Now, when you create this funeral arrangement, is it best to go with a specific funeral home, or is it something that you can take wherever, or how does it work?
Depends where you live. Most insurance companies or funeral homes are located locally. Let's say you're from Mercedes. Well, in Mercedes, we have 3 funeral homes. Okay, so you can decide which one you want to go to. So that's totally up to you. It doesn't matter. I sell for all of them that are here in the valley, and you choose where you want to go. Where we have a little problem is that, let's say, God forbid, you up north and something happens to you up north. Most of these policies have an extra benefit that if you were to pass away far from home, there's a little bit of money there set aside to bring you back to the valley to go ahead. So that's something that the family will not have to worry about. And of course, at point of sale, I tell them, hey, in the event that you're on vacation or you're there, here or there, we will go ahead and give this amount of money to transport your body back to the valley. The only exception to this is if, let's say, you're abroad. Let's say you're in Mexico. Let's say you're in Canada, or let's say you're in just some other foreign country. There are certain laws and regulations, and of course, there are certain amounts of money that have to be paid to cross a dead body into the U.S. Let's say, for instance, I have several clients who have desired, hey, I want to be buried in Mexico. Oh, okay. For your information, it will cost you $2,000 to pay the consulate so that they can give you the permit just to cross your body into the United States. Or vice versa. You want to cross the body from the U.S. to Mexico, there's a $2,000 quota that you would have to cough up at the moment. And of course, that also entitles other stuff, like they have to embalm the body, they have to prepare the body. You don't have to buy the casket, but you have to prepare the body. That they won't cross the body if it's not ready to cross over.
Now, besides the casket, what else can what else does this cover when you do this pre-planning?
Oh, like I said, on the prearranged funerals, we're going to go ahead and do the services. What type of services? Let's say you want a service there at the funeral home, and then you want to be transported to your church, to your local church for the final goodbye, and then of course from there you also are going to go to the local cemetery. When you do that, you're purchasing the services of all those things that they need to have the funeral director present at all of these places, because he's
Okay.
the one that's in charge of all of these and things, and he has a license. Now, when you're doing this, we're also purchasing the vehicles. You're purchasing the hearse, the family car, and then of course the flower car, because you can't go anywhere
Mhm.
with flowers. So you're also
Yeah.
purchasing these type of benefits that are already integrated into your prearranged funeral. The only thing they don't cover is the police officers, which are the escorts, and of course the flowers that you decide that you want. If you want regular flowers, which usually it's carnations, well, there's
Mhm.
so much for that. But what if you can afford a little bit more? Well, I want the carnations and I want roses. Well, that's
Mhm.
more than double. That's actually three times that base amount. Oh, but what if I just want all roses? You know how they have that nice bouquet?
Yeah.
Well, that's almost $700-800 now. So that's not
Wow.
cheap. So
Mm-mm.
those things are things that you need to consider, and those things are what you desire to have. And of course, you set money aside for that. That's why when I'm telling you, when you have a life insurance policy that's separate from the prearranged policy, that you can go ahead and
Mhm.
just assign all that and pay for it all at one time. In some instances, like some funeral homes have their own cemeteries, you can pay for that all together at one time.
Okay.
So,
But
so
like
there. Mhm.
if they don't have that, then you'd have to do something separate. Like I guess what I'm asking is like I know with my parents, they purchased a pre funeral arrangement, but that didn't include like the cemetery and the headstone on. That would have to be a separate
Yes,
entity.
that's a separate purchase altogether. That's a separate
Okay.
purchase altogether. Now, for that, they sell that there at the cemetery. They sell you the plot. They sell you the opening and closing. They sell you the grave liner, and they sell you, of course, the tomb. That's totally separate. Now, that also falls under an insurance plan, because in the state of Texas, all those things, they can no longer be recovered by the cemetery or by the funeral home. They have to go through the banking commission, which is to sell them a life insurance policy to pay for that. Unless, like I said, if it's a dollar per dollar, that's out the window. You have, as much as you paid into it, that's all that's going to cover. Mhm.
Okay. Now, what happens if my family wants to make a change to the funeral? Would they be able to do that, or
Usually,
like
you
let's say,
lock yourself into a contract. You lock
okay,
into a contract. I once had a client who told me, "Hey, you know what, Mr. Rubio, I'm interested in buying a prearranged funeral." I said, "Okay, but I want a family plan." I said, "You know what? I can sell you the prearranged funeral as individuals because that's what the state of Texas permits me. But I can also include your kids, but they're only insured to a certain point." Say, "Oh, no, no, I want a policy that's going to insure myself, my mom, my dad, and I don't want to pay more than $50." And I told him, "You know what? That doesn't exist. You have to make an
yeah,
individual contract for everyone." So that's why when you purchase life insurance, it's on an individual basis, unless you have minor children. You can include them on your benefit. And most policies, you can sell them up to $10,000 of benefit. But other than that, it's everything is a life insurance policy, and it's an individual packet. Mhm. Once you
now
lock
what happens?
the contract,
Uh-huh.
that's nothing you can do.
Now, what if we wanted, personally, we wanted to make changes to it, like add to it or maybe take away? Would that have to be like a new contract has to be made in that instance? Like, let's say instead of 1 day service, we decide, okay, we want to have like a 2 day service
Actually,
to
what
make changes
happens
like that.
Yeah, actually, Richard, what happens is that you already locked in the thing, and when
Mhm.
somebody passes away, you can opt there at the funeral home, saying, "Hey, you know what? We don't want the 1 day. We want the 2 day." You would have to out of pocket pay for that. You can no longer once you make the decision of how you're going to do your funeral, it's you locked yourself into a contract.
Okay. Now, also, I guess the final question would be, let's say we didn't want a casket, we actually wanted like a cremation. Would that be something that can be arranged uh, through the same pre-funeral arrangement?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I have many clients who rather have themselves, cremated than buried. And of course, for different reasons. People
Hmm.
say, I don't want to see people crying at my funeral. I don't want to know about this and that. And I said, well, you know what? This is the way you want it. We're going to go ahead and do it. But I do have an option, especially for our Hispanic community, that a lot of people say, you know what? I can't afford a funeral because it just sounds too expensive, but can we do a viewing and then a cremation? I said, yes, we actually have packages for those. What they do is they
Okay.
send you a casket. We do a traditional service that there's 1 day or 2 days of visitation, and they have to fix the body. So they have to go ahead and embalm the body, and they have a regular service. You can have 1 day, 2 day service, and then after that, they go ahead and cremate you and give your ashes to your family. That you can do. And now that type of policy, it used to be about 5,000. It's about 5,500 now for that type of service.
Mhm.
And people do opt that for that because going to the cemetery is just as expensive as going to a funeral home, and some cemeteries are more expensive than the funeral home. There's a
Really?
couple
Wow.
on me that it cost about 8,500, maybe $9,000 just for the cemetery. And I
Wow.
don't put 6,500 for my, well, that's why we're at the number where we're at. It's either anywhere from 12,500 to $15,000 for our funeral for one specific
Wow.
person. Yeah, it's
Now,
expensive to
now,
go out of this world, not just coming in, but going out.
okay. Now, I guess that was something I didn't think about, but like the pre-funeral arrangement, it covers the service at the funeral home, and then if they want to pass by the church. But is there a separate? There's a separate price then also to do the final closing there at the cemetery.
No, 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 no. Well, no, you're asking two different things. One is if
Okay.
you still want to go to the church, they will take you to the church because what happens is that they have to take their bond. There's a bond for carrying the body in case the casket falls or breaks, or if somebody gets hurt. There's a special bond they have to pay, and then going to the cemetery, that director needs to be there in case if there's an accident. And of course, I've been witness to, unfortunately, several occasions that the
Yeah.
widowers just falls into the grave as they're crying over the body.
Really?
Something gets them, boom, oh my God, let's take them out. Come on, hurry up, guys.
Yeah.
Or they just pass out. I've had people that have passed out. And we're there and like, okay, come on, everybody, let's grab them, let's hold them, let's do this, let's do that. Unfortunately, we had a case many, many years ago of this guy that was very large, very, very large. When he passed
Uh-huh.
away, they had to cut the window out of his house to take him out. The mother said, "Hey,
Wow.
I want to take him one more time to church," and the director said, "No, but I want to." No, there's a flight of stairs. The guy weighs over 600 pounds. No,
Wow.
it's not happening. For somebody over 250 pounds or 200 pounds, they have to purchase a special reinforced casket. And that
Uh-huh.
casket at that guy's size isn't going to pass. They actually had to use a mechanic's crane to take him
Uh-huh.
out from his bed, pull him up, and then drag him out to the hearse and put him inside because he was just too heavy. He was just too heavy.
Wow.
And of course, that was extra charge. That they have to.
Yeah. Oh. Well, that was pretty interesting topic today. Just want to remind everyone that you are watching Ruben Rubio TX live here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and you can follow us across all these social medias. You can search for Ruben Rubio TX, or you can actually also visit our website, RubenRubioTX.com. You'll find links to our social media. You'll be able to ask the questions you want, and we can answer them live here on the live stream. Or if you want to just set up an appointment, you find that you need to arrange your own funeral right now to be prepared, Ruben Rubio will be more than happy to help you out. And just thank you for watching us. And remember, we're here Tuesdays at 3 o'clock Central Standard Time here in the great state of Texas. Would you like to close us out, Ruben?
Yes, I would just like to thank everybody that's listening to our show. I have friends now that are watching us in different parts of the state. We have here people in the valley, all throughout the valley. We have people in San Antonio, and I'm hoping that we're going to extend ourselves into Midland and Del Rio, hopefully pretty soon. And of course, it doesn't matter where you are. I will be there to help you out. Okay?
All right. Thank you. You all have a great week.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Hello, my name is Ruben Rubio. Help support my channel by visiting my website, RubenRubioTX.com, on your phone, tablet, or PC. For Facebook, go to the menu and click on the Facebook logo. On my Facebook page, click like and follow. For Instagram, go to the menu and click on the Instagram logo. On my Instagram profile, click follow. For YouTube, go to the menu and click on the YouTube logo. On my YouTube page, click subscribe and ring the bell for all notifications. For Twitch, go to the menu and click on the Twitch logo. On my Twitch page, click the heart to follow. If you have questions you'd like answered on one of our live streams or YouTube videos, go to the menu and click on Ask a Question. Fill out all the details in the form and click Submit. You can choose to be anonymous or have your first name mentioned on the video. If you'd like to schedule a phone appointment, go to the menu and click Schedule Phone Appointment. Fill out all the details and when the best time to reach you, and we will get back to you at our earliest time available. Hola, mi nombre es Rubén Rubio. Para apoyar mi canal, visite mi sitio de web RubenRubioTX.com en tu teléfono, tableta o computadora. Para Facebook, vaya al menú y haga clic en el logotipo de Facebook. En mi página de Facebook, haga clic en like y siga. Para Instagram, vaya al menú y haga clic en el logo de Instagram. En mi perfil de Instagram, haga clic en seguir. Para YouTube, vaya al menú y haga clic en el logotipo de YouTube. En mi página de YouTube, haga clic en suscríbase y haga sonar la campana para todas las notificaciones. Para Twitch, vaya al menú y haga clic en el logotipo de Twitch. En mi página de Twitch, haga clic en el corazón para seguir. Si tienes preguntas que le gustaría responder en alguno de nuestros live stream o videos de YouTube, vaya al menú y haga clic en Ask a Question, llene todos los detalles del formulario y haga clic en Enviar. Puede elegir ser anónimo o que su primer nombre se mencione en el video. Si desea programar una cita por teléfono, vaya al menú y haga clic en Schedule Phone Appointment. Llene todos los detalles y cuando es el mejor momento para llegar a usted y nos encontraremos en nuestro momento más temprano disponible. Hello.